Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today basically I'm going to carry on where I left in my previous video. If you saw that, probably that's why you're here. Basically I'm gonna share the process why I actually went through in this past couple of years until I finally got my British citizenship. I honestly couldn't be any happier that this is finally over. It wasn't like a nice journey. I honestly cannot say that it was, oh my god, I couldn't wait to start this whole journey or anything. I just couldn't wait to get this over and done with, because it is a lot of stress, and it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of waiting, and patience is just not my strength at all. So yeah, let's jump into it. So basically I've been here for 9 years now in the UK, and basically I explained in my previous video, I started collecting everything that I knew that I will need for my British citizenship before I actually apply for it. So I went down through a route. So like I said in the previous video as well, again, there's plenty of different ways you can actually apply for your citizenship. The one that I'm gonna be break down today is gonna be through the one that I applied, that I followed, is called the naturalization, which I don't know again that is for every single nationality out there or not. So I'm just gonna share my experience basically. So the first thing I did, like I said, when I say I said, I literally shared everything in the previous video that I'm gonna mention here. So basically I started collecting everything from basically every single payslip, P60s, P45s. I put down the date of every single new workplace when I started, when I left. I also printed out all my plane tickets. I also kept traveling to the very minimum. So like I said, I was very lucky in that situation that I had everything in place. I can see a lot of people. I was in a group on Facebook. There is a group that you can find if you go down this route. There's actually a group that people sharing their own experiences, and they did help me quite a lot because I stuck with certain questions. If you don't hire yourself a lawyer, lawyers do cost a lot of money, let's be honest. So if you don't do that for yourself, then you're gonna end up sometimes in situations that you need help. So I think this group on Facebook was very, very helpful. Honestly, every single person in the group helped me a lot. Every time I posted up a question, I literally got the answer straight back, like in less than 2 minutes. Start everything collecting before you actually need it. So the first thing I needed, obviously, so I was a Hungarian citizen before I started this whole thing, and the first thing I needed is a settled status or pre-settled status. So because this happened after Brexit, before that there used to be I think it was a card. It was the sort of card, a living in the UK card, that you had to have for 1 year before you actually can apply for the citizenship. So after Brexit, they completely deleted this card, a sort of process, and they put this settled and pre-settled status in. So basically, because I was here already for a certain amount of time after Brexit, I got straight away approved for the settled status, which means that I'm permitted to live here, work here, and I don't have to have the citizenship to have the rights to certain things basically. So the first thing obviously you have to do is you have to prove that you lived in the UK for a certain amount of time. So you have to do a test. It's called the Living in the UK test. They give you a book. Obviously you can purchase it from Amazon or everywhere. I think it was £10 or £11 something, and then you study from that book and you do a test. I cannot believe how simple and easy was my test. I think you have an hour for your test or 10 minutes, not 100% sure, because I finished mine in less than 2 minutes. I'm not gonna brag here, like honestly the question, I was fuming because there was so detailed questions in the book. So I studied every single little thing, and I booked myself in a month advance. So for 1 month, I was studying up all day, all night. That book I knew in and out. I was so ready for that test. And then the questions I got is like, what kind of games do you play in a British pub? Oh my god. So it was A, B, and C. Like simple little thing, like, oh my god. Then the other question, when is Christmas Day? I'm like, what the hell is these questions? Like, I was fuming at how simple it was. And oh, for me, it was a waste of time studying that book. Honestly, that was just a whole month out of the window, because I did that less than 2 minutes and I passed straight away. So I got home. I wasn't happy. I was actually angry. I was honestly so angry. So the next thing was, so you only have to do this if you don't have a degree or you never actually studied anything in English. So you have to prove that you can actually speak and write in English. So you had to do basically a language test. So this was, I think, was it verbal only? Or did I do? Yeah, I think it was verbal only. I honestly cannot remember because everything happened so fast. So once I got home from this test, I booked myself in straight away, and I didn't obviously study anything for that because I don't know how I can study for that. So I just went in. They pair you up with people who are actually there to do the same thing basically for a test. But the problem here is they don't only put you up with people who are applying for British citizenship. They put you up with people who are just applying for visas. So I'm not trying to be nasty here, but they paired me with someone who barely could speak English, and it was really hard because I had to have a conversation with her and she was not saying anything. And then obviously because she couldn't answer my questions, I honestly was just talking to myself. So I felt like, oh my god, she's gonna fail me. And that test, I think that was £150, if I remember right, because that was a quite expensive test. And I was fuming sitting there. So basically you had to pull little cards and you had to talk about it and basically just have a normal conversation. So I was going with the flow. I was keep questioning her. She couldn't answer back. Then she didn't ask me any questions. So basically that sort of teacher, because basically we were sitting in a classroom, this lady was trying to jump in and help, and obviously if she jumps in and helps, that's not really a good sign. So I was panicking. So I was trying to finish basically the questions I asked from her. I was just finishing it and like sort of pushing her to agree that yeah, like something, like just say something. So that was again not a pleasant experience for me. So again, I wasn't happy. Again, literally I got home and I got that I passed. So I knew that, oh, okay, this is out the way as well. I was quite happy. And then I started the process. Yeah, I had to find the 2 references. Then I did the application. So the application was quite a few pages. It's not a simple application, honestly. You do need a few hours, especially you do need to double check every single answer you put down. I would say to triple check it, because I was double checking my answers and I still screwed up. Like, I was panicking because as soon as I submitted, you cannot change anything whatsoever. So I put down the dates to certain things wrong. I literally put in 2 year advance and it's not even happened yet. So I was like, oh my god, what the hell I did here. Then I honestly do not know how I did that, because I triple checked my answers and I still managed to put the wrong answers, because I was under a lot of stress, because I knew once I submit this, I can't change this. I will pay the fee, which is 1,400 something pound. Honestly, can't remember the exact amount. And I knew that, oh my God, I was just like shaking doing this whole thing. And yeah, there was like 3-4 mistakes, that like typo mistakes, not like proper mistakes. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, I was crying my eyes out, and then I calmed down, messaged the group, and yeah, some people straight away, yeah, you screwed up, yeah, you can say bye to your money basically and start again. Then some people, oh, don't worry about it, you can just write a cover letter and explain everything. So that's what I did. Straight away, gone to the computer, started writing. So I wrote a really nice formal cover letter, explained everything, explained a little bit about myself as well. And I think that's what helped me. I was so honest, and I just put down that I was under a lot of pressure and everything. And that basically pushed my application through, because I got it straight away. So I didn't got rejected because of all those tiny little mistakes I made on my application. I just explained everything so they understood what happened or why is it not like that, and I put down the proper answers in my cover letter. So that's definitely helped, and I would highly recommend, even if you do not make little mistakes like I did, I would highly recommend to write a cover letter to anything that you wanna basically explain to the person who's making the decision about your application. And the reason being, I find cover letters really helpful because that person doesn't know you. That person just gonna get an application in front of her or him, and he's just gonna look at the facts. So, ooh, this doesn't match, and simple as that, reject. But if you have a cover letter, basically because you can't have a conversation with that person because you're not there, that cover letter basically that explains that person, look at this or ignore that, reason being, and this and that. So I would highly recommend to do a cover letter. Always write a cover letter, 100%. So I did that, got my application through, and yeah, I got basically an email. Then this is where I got a little bit confused at what on earth is happening. I got an email. So this was in December, just after Christmas I applied. And basically I got an email that please log in with your details and start uploading your documents. I did know that obviously all these documents that I've been saving up for years and years, I will have to give them, show to them that, yeah, I did live here for this amount of time. Yes, I did have an employment, or yes, I was self-employed, or this and that. So I knew that that's going to happen, but I honestly thought that I didn't have to upload it, or what am I gonna do? So basically, they give you 3 options, and again, this is something that you have to pay for, obviously, because everything is all around the money. So you had to pay, basically, it depends which one you pick. So there was like a VIP, there was a premium, and there was scanning documents, there was like one that you just upload everything on your own, because I didn't want to go again here, you under a lot of pressure, you again already paid an X amount of money, and you want to make sure that the application going through without any problems. So you're just gonna pay whatever on you. So that's what I did. I went in and basically I got an appointment. This was again £100 and something that I paid for. So all these little £100, £50, and on top of the application, it's gonna push it quite a high amount of money. So I paid just tiny bit short of £2,000 for this entire thing. Yeah, I'm feeling sick just saying that. So basically, after I went in, I paid for the premium, so which was documentum checking and scanning, as well as I think they did my biometric there. So basically they took your fingerprint, take your picture, and things like that. So there was this guy, I got an appointment for very, very late time. Like it was like 6 o'clock or maybe 8 o'clock. Like it was very late. And they were just literally, I was like last person there, and they were closing. And obviously I paid for this premium service. So I was expecting a sort of service that, okay, they're gonna check my documents, make sure everything is right. And they were just hurrying the F up to make sure they get out the door. And they just didn't look at me once, so they just took my documents and started scanning it. And I'm a very organized person when it comes to things like that. Probably not to my wardrobe, but things like this, I'm very, very organized. So I had this pile of documents, everything, literally I put labels that these are my payslip, these are my employment history, these are my travel documents, these are the proof of addresses, these are the references, blah 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 blah. So everything had color coded in a massive folder like this. And obviously they had to scan every single document for that. They also had to scan the certificates that I got, obviously, for those 2 tests I mentioned before. And they're supposed to check these as well to make sure everything is right, because I paid for that. But they didn't. They didn't even look at it. All they did, it was just scanning it, not even in right order. So I was just getting pissed literally off, like so angry, because they pushed everything back. I got my documents back, not even like in a nice order or way at all. They were just pushed everything back and there you go, you can go. So that service was disgusting. I was fuming. Like I said, it wasn't a pleasant journey for me, this entire process at all. Like, I was so angry. I remember I came out door and all I could think of, I was just constantly swearing, and I was just swearing and swearing. I was like, not even gonna say it. But yeah, so then we got that done and I was waiting what's gonna happen. So I got an email that they got my documents, they received it. And I was like, okay, what's next? So then the next day I got a message that we need your references. They have to complete a sort of survey for you, behalf of you, to make sure they know you. So I messaged straight away the 2 references, like, can you do this for me, blah, blah, blah. So straight away they got on and they done everything. They sent back. And then I was just waiting. And not gonna lie, less than a week later, I woke up for an email. It was like very early. Carl sleeping next to me. I remember, like, I was so KO. It was like very early. Opened my phone because I got the notification of an email, and they said, "Dear Delilah, we would like to invite you for your British ceremony, British citizenship ceremony." I was like, wait, what? Like, you're supposed to get an email first saying that you got approved or rejected. So all I got is an invite. I didn't get an approval letter, nothing. And I'm like, is this a fake account? Is someone just trying to piss me off? What the hell? I couldn't believe it. So obviously, straight away, I started writing a message in the group and people were just congratulating me. I was like, stop ignoring my proper question and stop congratulating me. Please explain why I not got a letter saying approved and I'm just getting an invite. Is this real invite? So someone in the group who works for the Manchester City Council, who you actually gonna do the ceremony, she confirmed that that email address they came from is definitely their email address and the signature in the email and everything is right. So I was like, oh my God, so I actually got approved. Oh my God, I was like, what the hell happened? So I started emailing, obviously, down that, oh, I didn't get my approval letter, because in the invitation email, it did say that please bring your approval letter, and I didn't have one. But I was way too panicky, and an hour later, I got the approval letter. So that's when I was like, oh my God, I actually got my citizenship. I was like, oh, can't believe it. I was like, oh, I was so happy. So I woke Cal up, like, in the most unpleasant way. I was like, jumping up and down, and he was like, okay, let's go celebrate. So we splurged the day, like we were celebrating. I got loads of presents and everything, so that was a very good day. And then obviously I had to attend for the ceremony. The thing is, they do not ask you that is this date good for you or like anything. They just give you a day and a time and attend. And that's it. They don't care if you can actually make it or not. Luckily, it was a day that was free for me. It was a week from the day I got the approval. So it was a Wednesday. Then we attended, and due to COVID, you couldn't take anybody in with you. So Carl just came with me to it was in the city center. I can't remember where it actually was. But basically just came there with me, and he was waiting in the waiting room until I went in. So when I walked in, I had to, basically you have to take an oath, and there was two paper, blue and a red one, and one of them contains God, like the word God, and the other doesn't. So obviously, because it was a lot of religious people in that room, especially Muslim people, probably I was the only one like supposed to be Catholic, but I'm really not religious at all. I did not look at the papers at all. I was just pick a color. So I was like, oh, red, that's good for me. And I didn't realize nobody else took the red until I sat down. So then the lady who was actually running the whole ceremony process, she was like, okay, so everyone with the red paper stand up. I was the only one. I was standing there looking around, like 40 people behind me, like, oh my God, I'm standing here on my own. Even the lady, she started laughing. She was like, you gonna be all right? I was like, yeah, what can I do now? I was trying to ask her, can I change it? But she was like, if you really want to. I was like, no, we can do this. We can do this. So she was reading the words out and I had to repeat it. So I was doing basically a whole thing just with her and 101. Then after, everyone with the blue one had to stand up, and I sat down and everyone standing up around me. So that was quite funny. Then once we did this oath thing, basically they call your name, you get this paper, the British Citizenship certificate, and you got a pen. Honestly, I've been trying to look for that pen, and Carl was saying that how nice is that pen, and I think he took it, but I can't find it. So it was just saying Manchester City Council and congratulations. It was in a very nice box. It was actually a nice touch. So you got that and that pen, and then basically just walk off. Everything happened in less than 30 minutes. And then we went out again celebrating. Then, once you got this paper, you can actually apply for your passport. So this was again something that you have to pay again. This was £85, and I was fuming because obviously my old passport, which is the Hungarian passport, I had to send this passport and this paper together, and obviously I had to pay online, and you just wait for this one to arrive. And it was weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm like, oh my God, where the hell is my old passport and my very expensive paper? Because this paper I paid so much money for, and obviously if you lose this, they actually say that they don't claim responsibility. So I paid for a very expensive packaging, like security, tracking, next day, make sure I put everything on it, like an extra £20 I spent on just on postage. And I still didn't get there on next day and all that, but I was like, whatever, just let's get over and done with. So it was like 3-4 weeks until I waited and actually got my passport. Then I got my passport and they didn't send these back. So I was messaging them, and then I Googled the things and they said, oh, you're not gonna get them in the same package, you will have to wait for them. I was like, oh my goodness sake. What's gonna happen if they get lost or anything? So obviously there was like that frustration constantly, like, oh my God. Then they arrived 2 or 3 weeks later on top of that, and then it was done. It was finally done. So I was really lucky, like I said, because I thought and planned everything in advance. So with my documents being in order, my process was very, very quick. So I started everything end of December, like literally just like a day before New Year's Eve, like in a very, very silly time. And I literally got approved in January. So it was very, very quick. I do know some people wait for a year, even 2 years. Some people wait for months and months. So I think that's the only reason I got very lucky, because my documents were in order. I honestly do not know how they were uploading them, because like I said, they were just like, hey, let's do it like that. And don't expect when you pay for premium service that it's gonna be actually premium, because I paid quite a lot of money for that service and I did not get anything. So yeah, and it's finally over. So this was my process, and when people asked me in the group for timeline, I literally didn't really have a timeline because everything happened so quick. because I just planned everything in advance. And I would, like I said, double check, triple check, make sure you got everything in order, double check what documents you will need, because if you don't have that, there's always the government, the tax people, there's everyone that you can actually ask, or go back to your old employer and ask them for any sort of proof that you work there or anything like that you can get and gather together. Like, luckily I kept everything, but I would highly recommend, because I think that's why people actually get refused or rejected, and unless you have the money to constantly apply, because I think there is also a certain amount times you can apply. So if you get rejected once or twice, you have to wait a certain amount of year to apply again or something like that. So I was like, oh my god, I can't afford that. I want to travel. Like, I literally wanted this whole thing over and done with, and I wanted to travel. So I now seen my family for almost 5 years now. Like, obviously my parents, they were actually traveling over here, but my other brothers, I haven't seen them for so long, so long. So I think that was also that it's affected me. That obviously this whole process I just wanted over and done with, not just for this passport. I wanted to travel again and everything. So finally it's a good year because of this, and hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.